Oh, that would do it. That would do it right there. I had it muted. I have been talking to myself for the last 10 minutes. I'm sorry, folks. No, it should be okay. It was literally a setting and I pressed a button and we should be okay. Right. So, starting over, yeah, no, we'll take it from the top here. Right. Now that you can hear me, I have a new hat. Oh, it is a good hat. It is the nice wide brim that I absolutely need. And part of what I was talking about was the fact that I have to be able to fix my hair under this, which means that I am trying to get the hair stick horizontal, and it is a very nice wool felt hat, and it was not terribly expensive. Um, and Johann bought himself a really spiffy white straw, and which was doing good because the kid has a big head, so I do not have a big head. Finding him a hat that fit him on the first go was like, yes, buy it. Um, no, none of the above. This is an off-brand called Twister. So, it's wool felt. It's made in Mexico. It was inexpensive enough. I don't expect much from it, but part of the deal with me living here in Texas is that I have to have hats. I had a garden hat I've got a garden hat, the straw that comes out to here. Uh, the brim is super wide, makes me look like a little brown mushroom. And I've had that for 15, 20 years now. Good morning, Alan. And the I've got a couple of floppy straws that I picked up at the Japanese market because the Japanese ladies need their hats like I do. Oh, yeah, farm girl, that does not sound like fun. And uh, I hate to say it, but you get paid peanuts now for a challenging job. Mm, for a somewhat less challenging job, getting paid peanuts is probably not that bad of a deal. But I also understand that what you do is something above and beyond and something special. So I get why you do what you do, even if it does drive you to adult beverages. Um, no, yeah. So I worked a little later than usual today, and then I was working on the Hunting Anthology. And the Hunting Anthology is 99% there. Um, I would have, but I didn't think that far ahead, and I was running my little feet off right up until 15 minutes before live stream. So, including getting to help Jim Curtis, old NFO, test out a sweet new setup that he's doing for his live stream. So that was fun. Um, yes, Mike the bartender. I bet he's a good bartender too. Uh, I think my bartender is probably hiding outside rather than being in my live stream for a change. Everyone's a little hot and cranky here at the Crooked House. Um, so I will get to that and then I'll go back to the Hunting Anthology. I took my son shopping. He had most of a paycheck to blow, and he did. And I also spent some money on him because he differs. So he's taking the welding classes. He's had his first week of classes under his belt. He's made his first weld. He is super excited, and he needed more equipment because the equipment list that they gave him before school started wasn't comprehensive. These things rarely are. So he wanted me to take him to Harbor Freight and pick up a few things and then elsewhere if he couldn't get stuff at Harbor Freight. So while we were at Harbor Freight, on the clearance rack, there was an open box welder. And I looked at it, and the one of the employees was going by and he stopped and he said, if you want it, you better grab it because it's not going to be there for very long. It was marked down considerable. Um, we uh, we checked in the box before we brought it home with us, and all the pieces are there. Well, so kid's excited, and now we have most of the supplies that he needs to be able to run it, except for one key thing that I thought we had and we might have, but we're not. We're gonna have to have an electrician in. Basically, it's an arc welder, and it needs 240 with a 50 amp, so which probably means a 60 amp breaker, which we do not have installed. I know that there was a big power outlet in the shed from where the previous owners had their pontoon boat um, stored. However, we don't know if that's still hooked up to anything or which box it goes to, because there's a box, a circuit breaker box out in the shed, and there's one in the house for the house. And I think there might be a third one for where the hot tub was, which might also run the power for out to the shed. But we don't know for sure. And we don't want to mess with it essentially, so we are going to probably have an electrician come in and give us a quote on what it's going to take to set it up so that he can run a welder, because he's going to need a lot of power no matter which welder he winds up with. In the meantime, we have 5 days to test this, and to test this because we can return it within 5 days because it was open box. And we're talking about less than $150, guys. So it's not like a huge investment. Yeah. So, it's definitely a bring in an electrician, because I don't do electricity, not at all. And Sanford does, but he's very, very cautious about it, as he should be, because he's survived to the age that he is. And the kid doesn't know anything. So we actually have a multimeter, probably more than one because of Sanford. But the question here isn't whether or not it's live. We can figure that out. We've got a little tester thingy. Like it's like a little pen, and you point it at the thing and it tells you, which is kind of cool actually. Um, but the it's more of um yes and yes. Um, but it's more of we need to make sure that it's able to take the load of the welder. Um, and actually, what might wind up happening is um, because Peter and Dorothy stopped by, and Peter had a suggestion, which is uh, which is to ask the professor at school that runs the welding shop if Johann can bring it in and at least make sure that it's functional there. Um, and at that point, we don't have to worry about it. It can get set aside because he's not there yet. He's learning. I'm trying to remember which class he's taking because he's going to wind up learning stick welding, MIG and TIG, and arc. And this is an arc welder. So, I'm not sure that this is the class he's taking this semester, in which case he won't even really be able to use it real well until he's had the right class for it. And that's a him but question. But so what it was we had a roller coaster of, yay, I have welder. Oh, I can't use it. And uh so yeah, and that's the other thing too, is when we get to the point where he has to be buying bottles of gases, that's a whole other, he'll have to have the right rack for that, and a cart for moving things, um and that's the thing with all of this, is we've told him that really what he needs to do is when he's got his first certs is find a job. and learn on his employer's stuff rather than trying to set up a shop here. I bought this for him and said Merry Christmas, kid, because it's going to be his Christmas present, or a chunk of it anyway. Um and it was literally because it was there, it was cheap, and it's Harbor Freight, so it's not fantastic, but for a learning thing, I think Harbor Freight's about the speed of where he needs to start. But yeah, no, we had fun, the kid and I. Um, I took him to little thrift shop where I'd been a couple weeks back, and we wound up with he bought a smoker, a pellet smoker. Um, I was going to buy it, and he decided he wanted to buy it instead. Um, so it looks like a lot of you guys have the bare basics of welding, which is more than I do. I mean, Sanford said today that he hasn't done it in 30 years. So, oh yeah, the kid is hilarious. The kid with your kid, Stiffers, was the cutest gosh darn thing. Um, right, exactly. This is exactly what I did, Kermit. I didn't research it, but it was a cheap welder, and I was like, all right, let's grab it. We'll go. Yeah. So, um, and I mean, I have a project or two I'd like the kid to work on. I bought a metal barrel, and I'd like him to make me a grill. Um, and you can do it without welding. I've actually got the plans for making a 55-gallon drum into a grill without welding, but it'll be better if he can weld. Um, and oh, that's something to think about. I hadn't thought about having him do little projects to try and sell. He's got a lot of learning to do. Um, we'll see. I don't know. I do know that, I mean, at this point, we're a couple of grand into college bills already, so you better do something with it. But he'll get there. And, I mean, I'm mom, I'm enabling these things. He bought some tools today, and I also bought a few things for him. Um, so we're setting him up for success or something. He just had a little bit of a moment there today because he was all fired up and getting ready to get to play with his new welder, and now he really can't because we don't want to find out the hard way that the wiring is subpar out there. I'd much rather have someone that knows what they're doing run that one through him, rather than one of us try and figure it out. Oh, yeah, no, it's been an interesting week. And Cat Stevens, who's got stories in actually both hunting anthologies, and is local and is one of the nationwide experts on handgun hunting, um, it was kind enough to give me some prickly pear fruits, and I'm going to be making jelly out of those. And my pectin came in today because was out of pectin. So I am ready to um I am ready to play with some prickly pear fruits. That's going to be fun. Oh, and my thrift shop score today was a outside burner, a propane burner, and scored that for $10. I think it's going to need a new regulator and hose to go to the propane tank. But if the burner is functional, that means that I can do my hot water bath canning outside rather than in the house. Um, no, no. Well, I think one of her stories does touch on handgun hunting. So, well, I've not actually done much with prickly pear fruits. I have played with prickly pear leaves before, and I find I found them to be slimy. Very, very much like okra in their tendencies when I cooked with the prickly pear leaves. The fruit, I suspect, will have some similar nature to them because cactus. Uh, but we'll see how this comes out as far as the jelly goes. I've got a couple of recipes and I've got enough of it to tinker a little bit. Um, Depending on how it tastes, I've got a bunch of jalapenos in the fridge that needs to be used up. So what I might wind up doing is a batch that's a blend with jalapenos and do. Yep, I have gloves. These have been torched, Dawn. Um, so nopales are the leaves. The fruits are, I think, are called tunas, which is interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure how effective flamethrower hunting would be. Um, you kind of need the range and stopping power. Oh, we'll see how these come out. I'm thinking I have enough to. I'm just gonna do a couple of little batches. I don't want to get too frisky with it. And if I haven't got time this weekend, I'll throw them in the freezer because freezing fruit before you make jelly actually assists in the jelly making process. Um, right. No, I've got some old t-shirt or it's a muslin cloth, like cheesecloth, but a little tighter weave. So, um, okay, that makes sense. Atun? Uh, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure you can do other things with flamethrowers. Um, Tuna fish jam sounds like what's in the tin that the cat will go crazy over. The cat will not touch anything else but tuna fish she'll eat. Okay, good to know. Yeah, no, I've got a jelly strainer, but it is not that tight. It's gonna be it'll let things through, and I don't want the spines in the jelly. So, but I know I've got to peel them. It's gonna be a learning experience. Yeah, yeah, that does sound like that would be something that would open for Weird Al. Ugh, I am hot and tired. It was a frisky day running around. A little bit too much drama there with the whole trying to figure out the welder, but as Dorothy observed, teenage boy, manic teenage boy, like a cat having the zoomies at 3 a.m. And Sanford said yes and louder. Yep, processing is absolutely correct. And I knew I was in for it when I volunteered to. Well, I didn't volunteer. I was offered and I was like, oh, yes, please. I'd like a few pounds. Um, and bees are nice, but I don't have a good place to keep bees. And I don't have the time and energy to deal with bees. I know how much work they are. And even though here in Texas they're going to be a little bit different than they would be where I've done it before in New England with my dad, I I just don't want to. Basically, I don't want to. Um, because bringing it back to the hunting anthology, I have been up to my eyeballs anytime I haven't been working or other things in trying to get all the illustrations done for the hunting anthology. I did one redraw of the illustration that was yesterday, so that I got Miss Kitty right for Farm Girl's story, and um, letting you run away before canning was a mistake. Um, no, so we got the illustrations are all done and loaded into Vellum, and it's funny because Thursdays, I've gotten in the habit of jaunting over to the blanket fort, which is just a few blocks away from me, and working while listening in on the live stream live and also being peanut gallery. Or as I got told when I walked into the shop this week, you're adult supervision because the other gals had all gone out. So, but I was able to, I had my little notebook with me and running vellum. So I was able to take the hunting anthology and get it formatted with the images. And because I'm doing full page, Becky says hi. Because I'm doing full page, and differs and Kermit say hi. Um, I'm doing full page images for the. I'm gonna let him read the chat and wave. um, the hunting anthology. I'm able to get away with using vellum. Vellum sometimes kicks a fuss with the images, I'm told, but it didn't give me any trouble at all. The PDF looks good. We're going to have to wait and see what it looks like in print. Um, oh, right. So, Dawn, I have been told that you may have to double the pectin that you would use for other things. They seem to have some kind of a natural agent to them that they don't gel as well. I mean, apples have built-in pectin, so apple jelly is pretty reliable to gel. But that's why I bought more pectin. I actually bought it bulk off Amazon, so I would make sure that I have enough pectin to make sure that my cactus gel. But the hunting anthology has I wrote a foreword and an afterword for it and did the full illustrations. I did a colophon of basically these authors have other books, go buy their other stuff, and I wound up not including author bios in this because I didn't get to the point where um, I was had it together enough and didn't call out for bios and feel like I had enough time. No, I'm not doing a bunny anthology. No more. I've got Hunting Anthology 1, Hunting Anthology 2, PTSD Anthology 2. With that one's coming out in spring of 2023 at this point, and that's it. I'm done because I have got to do more than stolen moments of writing. I've got um Raconteur Press has anthologies coming out, and if I don't get it written, they're not going to stop and wait for me. So I have got to pump out short stories and a lot of them. And then I have to get novels, and there was a loud noise back there. Um, and then I've got to get a couple of novels done and out there. So I need to be starting to focus in a whole lot more on writing than I have been. And I mean, I'm still going to keep on doing the art, but we may get to a point here. Oh well, who am I kidding? I've got Inktober coming, so Inktober is nigh. Um, so yeah, this is I've got my plate full, but the hunting anthology is 99% there. I've got authors have proof copies so that they can take a look at their story and get back to me with anything they want. Um, fixed errata or any actual like proof errors. It's been gone over, but there's can't have too many eyes typo hunting. And then I am hoping to start uploading it to Amazon on Monday because print sometimes bounces a couple of times before it goes through all the way. Because, swear to God, I will plug the numbers in to their own cover template and then download the template and it'll give me the wrong dimensions. This has happened not only to me but to other people. Oh, Yes, and I will undoubtedly ask for prompts again this year, Becky, because I don't use. There's a big group thing that uses one guy's prompts, but I like to let my art groups give me prompts, and it gets it gets challenging, which is half the fun. Um, so yeah, I've got the illustrations for the next anthology, which will be all this next month. I'll be drawing for that. I've got those all lined up. I've gone through the stories and figured out what scenes I want to do as far as illustrations or what critters I want to do. Um, and so that gives me my marching order for September. And I've got a con coming in September, and I'm going to be selling prints and art at that. I have an art book coming out next month, Fantastic Tree Houses, Art and Architecture, and that one was fun to put together. Um, and that should be out in a couple of weeks, because basically I put it on hold so that I could manage the hunting anthology. And once I have that done, bang, bang, bang. Yes, Dawn, I moved you into the first book because it was a really good capstone. You're actually the anchor story, the last story in the anthology. Um, I wound up going through all the stories and kind of trying to create some flow, um, because I have 20 odd stories in both of them, and I wanted to have a flow of some of the um, funny stories, and then I wanted to have kind of do funny, serious if I had that going on. And I also wanted a nice blend of shorts and longs. So it took me a couple of weeks going through, going, okay, I want this one here and that one there. So, oh, don't worry about it. It's a great story. It really fits well there, which is why I put it there. The funny thing is that a lot of these hunting stories that I got from folks involve dogs. Kermit, yours is less in the funny and more in the family, which is the other thing. We had a lot of dogs and we had a lot of family stories, which I kind of love because it gets into that generational aspect of hunting, because that's how it was for me. I mean, my early hunting education involved my great grandfather teaching me things and taking me out in the woods and teaching me how to stalk hunt, um, which I wound up not really doing in my life ever again. But that was how I came to hunting, was him teaching me his philosophy. And absolutely funny, family and dogs, and sometimes there's some overlap in those things, but as far as hunting stories go, it was pretty consistent there, and I liked it a lot. Um, take the pop tap off of that for Miss Courtney, please. Um, Differs did not send one. Differs could send one. I'll slot her into number two. I mean, I wouldn't do that for just anyone, but so Miss Becky says hi.
I saw.
Okay, he's
Anything
reading
interesting
comments.
happen?
We're talking. I mean, oh, then, well, you must go hunting, and then we can write stories about it.
Did you talk about the welding yet?
Yes, I did talk about the welder. So I think it'll be a good tool for him.
It's a hobby welder.
Yeah, it's a hobby welder. But that's the stage he's at, is he's learning. Oh, good. You are going to go hunting. Excellent. I can't wait to hear about that one. Um, oh my. No, I pulled, so I have a hand-me-done hunting rifle. Speaking of hunting and families.
I'm gonna do a wall. Eat that jerky I bought for the truck. Not all of it, just some of it.
Oh, hey, eat the jerky. We'll get you more jerky. I Wonder what prairie dog tastes like. I don't think I've ever thought about that one before. They're not omnivores, so I mean, pretty much any critter is a little omnivorous. We've had probably do taste like chicken. Um, I don't know. Frogs don't really taste like chicken to me. Alligator does not taste like chicken to me. Alligator is greasy and a bit fishy. They are omnivorous. Okay then. Um, well, I know bunny rabbits will eat their own young if they're disturbed, so I'm gonna guess that prairie dogs are probably like that. Uh, I have not yet eaten snake. Note the yet. Um, yes, they are plague bearers, which is probably good reason not to eat them, or touch them, or go anywhere near them. Things I do not need in my life. I have been told that groundhog can be very fat and greasy, and that raccoon tastes pure nasty. Um, Yeah, that makes sense. It does. I didn't really think that through because I'm thinking prairie dogs being more of a grazer, but yeah, they're related to rats and mice, which are definitely they'll eat anything. Kind of like chicken, which might be why they taste like chicken. I was saying I have a hand-me-down rifle, which by the way would not work for hunting prairie dogs. I suspect Johan's rifle because he has a 2020 um 2020. Oh my lord. Take me now. Oh. He has a 22. I have a 30-30. If you cross those two things in your brain and the brain goes bzz and shorts out, you get 2020. I don't know what that would be. Oh, mind of a writer indeed. I'm making stuff up as I go. Oh, right. No, I don't think I want to use a 30-30 on a prairie dog. The ammo for that is not cheap. Um, exactly, emphatically. My mom talks about hunting grouse and having to do a headshot because anything else you couldn't eat what was left. Which, by the way, I can't do that. My mom is a better shot than I am. I have not had the level of practice that my mom has. Um, but what I was starting to say was I pulled mom's rifle out of the case today and took a look at it. And it's probably going to have to go see a professional because it was in this case in Kentucky, which is damp. Kentucky is very, very damp, and so it's got some rust, and it's going to need help, and probably more than I can give it justice because I'm a little worried about what the inside looks like, and so I'm probably going to have to take it to see a professional before I try and use it because it's going to need some love. And I was afraid of that and I hadn't pulled it out of the case since we got it back from her. And yeah. So, mom, I'm sorry if you're listening. It needs some help. Um no, that's too far. I'm not going to try and take it to Mad Mike. I'm sure there's somebody local I can get referred to that can help me with it. But Kermit, I rather think that would take out the entire prairie dog town, but it might leave a crater that nobody wants where their cattle can step in it. Uh, uh, yeah, I think plinking at prairie dogs with a 22 makes a whole lot more sense, and the kid needs to learn how to use his. We've we've been talking about range time. Ray, right now we're talking about your second favorite topic, which is shooting things. Like how much gun is too much gun for prairie dog? right? The object is to get rid of the holes. I mean, I suppose crater, you've taken lots of little holes and made one big hole, but I don't know that that's any safer for critters. Um, uh, yeah, I'm surprised even the head was left, Ray. Um, yeah, no, I've got several people here I can ask about having the rifle looked at, and uh, I'm I'm trying to kind of get everything together and look at it and assess where things are at because things haven't been touched in well over a year. So everything's going to need cleaned. I'm going to have to set up a little cleaning session here, and Sanford and I go through um, all the things and clean them and try to find things got scattered in the move. So I'm like, I don't know where some stuff is, which is a little concerning. So I'm gonna probably sell a gun because it's not a good gun and I've been told to get rid of it. So, but that's a whole nother adventure. Um, right, yeah, 4.5 inches or 4 inches of rain. We had 3.5 or 4 here, and it's not enough to break us out of drought. But we're doing better than Fort Worth got like 15 inches in a few days. And while that'll break him out of drought, that's a little too much to get all at once. So, rain is good. I've got little pretty rain lilies popping up all over my front yard, which I think is cool. So, hi, Julie. That would be called lurking, and we get that. Lurking is perfectly acceptable. Um, yeah, no, if we're gonna get several inches of rain, I'd like it to be a little bit at a time for a while. Um, eh, differs if you find a body, there's paperwork, and nobody wants to do paperwork. Uh, although if you go body hunting and find one, you got to write me a story for the anthology, right? No, you cannot type while driving, and I'm appreciating that you put safety above the desire to comment. I have done that myself a few times while I was listening to somebody's live stream, driving and trying not to type. Um, the problem with setting in and drizzling is then you've got humidity. And Sanford, love, why is the dog barking?
I don't know.
She's not a big barky dog, so I am wondering why she is barking. And if this signals that somebody is at our front door and I'm going to have to suddenly go away. Hopefully not. And it's entirely possible that we just had a package pitched at our porch. Yes, she is cute, and yes, she's a little weird. Um, she's an old baby, so she was pretty chill with the oh, do it, Kermit, do it. Um, some humidity, but not a lot of humidity because we got a lot of humidity after the rain here and it was hot. So it went back up to the 90s and the humidity. And no, thank you. It's the unoccupied bodies that worry me, Ray. It's the unoccupied. Both the ambulatory and the non ambulatory. Oh, right. You can't write about day job. Okay, secret notebook for when you're retired. Um, oh, speaking of which, Kermit, I don't know if you wrote it down, but the Ben English book, Black and White, stories of Texas patrol officer. Really good book. I highly recommend. Um, Ray, that's interesting. Um, I've seen a couple of episodes of that, which I suspect were seriously over dramatized. So You go body hunting every time you go driving. I will admit that if I drive by a black plastic trash bag on the side of the road, I kind of give it the stink eye because there have been bodies discovered that way. So I think Kermit, and don't quote me on this, but actually, you know what? I own it. I believe, so I can loan it to you on Kindle if I'll shoot you a message later. Right? So oh, cool. So they have loaned an object to the museum. That's actually kind of nifty. Um, but yeah, the Ben English book I was thinking might give you some ideas, Kermit, for stories that yeah, it's Kindle Unlimited if you have Kindle Unlimited. It's called Black and White Tales of the Texas Highway Patrol. Oh, now that's interesting, Ray. Because like I said, I've seen a couple of episodes, so now I have a better visual for you. Yes, love?
Since I saw nothing, I'm assuming it's because she wants to go outside, and
Oh,
we have not been paying enough attention to
it's
her.
possible. There's a doll room differs, then there's definitely ghosts or something. You know, I don't know that I'd want to go hunting for that. I don't know that I'd want to find anything. There's just things that shouldn't be hunted up. Yes. Let's not. Although I have some hysterical pictures somewhere. I bought a bunch of antique glass bottles, mostly inkwells. But the lady that was selling them, it was a box. You had to buy the whole box. And I wanted old glass inkwells because I was doing some homemade ink. This was actually an Inktober thing. Um, and one of the things that was in the box was a little ceramic doll's head. And it didn't have any eyes because they're removable. And this one was completely disembodied. And that creeped my youngest daughter the heck out. She was not happy. So I've got a photo somewhere of Sanford with it on his finger, holding it out to her, and her going like this, just nope, don't want it, not gonna look at it. And somehow that thing got knocked over and broken. Hmm. I had no plans for doing anything with it anyway, so it was okay. I wanted the ink bottles, and I've got the ink bottles. I actually have some of those on the window sills here at the house. A doll is one thing. A bunch of dolls. Two-headed taxidermied calves are actually cool, Don. That's not creepy. That's cool. Um. Oh Lord, differs. Your dad. Dad is. That ain't right. I mean, my dad will do some weird stuff, but that one's. I think even he'd draw the line there. I don't want to know if Harriet moves. Mm. So, oh, cool. That is the one thing that would get me to go back into Philadelphia and drive in Philly again. Because the time that I was in Philly, able to drive in Philly, it was for work, and I had a work rental car and a deadline, and yeah. So Mutter is on my bucket list. Oh, that is so cool. Yeah. Things. That in the Scotland Yard, I think they call it the Black Museum. That's another one. Yeah. No, they've got some weird, freaky stuff at the Mutter. I've seen lots of images from it. I'm trying to remember where they keep the dioramas with the dead babies. I don't remember if that's the Mutter or if it's somewhere else. Um, but there's some place that they did dioramas with the skeletons, including infant skeletons, and I've got images of those I've used on my blog years ago. Weird crap, but really cool. Yeah, yeah, no, totally forensic girl geeking there. I'm not sure I'd want to go for the haunted house. It's not really my bag, but I definitely would want to go off season when it wasn't too busy and spend some time checking it out, maybe doing some sketching and yeah, yeah. Um, no, it's one of those things of yeah, formaldehyde, weird body parts in jars kind of place. Um, I mean, I know it's weird. Oh, Dad. I didn't realize you were listening. I may get you into trouble. Ooh, that is also cool, Ray. Um, I've definitely seen pictures of them, but not seen one in person. And ooh, yeah, Madame Tussauds, the Wax Museum would be another one that would be super cool to see. When I was in England, I get to see the British Museum, but Madame Tussauds was not on. Well, first of all, I don't think my grandmother would have wanted to do that one, but thrift stores, yeah. Um, you can find some weird stuff in thrift stores. We were uh we were in a thrift store today, Johan and I, and wound up buying. Well, he bought a pellet smoker, and um, I had bought a an outside propane burner that I can do canning on. But my son, there was a, for lack of a better term, it's a cabinet, a metal cabinet, and it was full of screws and bolts and stuff. And he asked the lady how much, and she was like, "Well, $500. If you want to take it today, it's 400." And I'm like, "You have not got that much money in your account, kid, and I'm not fronting that one to you." Well, I would not be surprised about pillaging baby sections of thrift stores. Uh, this particular thrift store was a fill a bag of clothes for $5, which, when you're talking about infants that are outgrowing clothing every other day, not that any of my children did that, no. I will wash the heck out of some thrift store baby clothes and be able to not have the kids wear them more than once before they are no longer fitting properly. Yes, well, this particular thrift store is the one where I scored all of the Edgar Rice Burroughs a few weeks back. So I didn't think there would be more of those, and there weren't. But what I went in there looking for, I did find. So, and I also found a couple of German Steins for my husband at 50 cents a pop. So why not? Yeah, there's stuffed organs and you can get stuffed microbes too, giant microbes. So like giant chlamydia, which is kind of awesome. Um, yeah, I mean, you can tell a county clerk, but you can't tell him much. Baby clothes with buttons, no. Baby clothes with Velcro is itchy. Baby clothes with those little plastic snaps, cool. Yep, the little zippers are good too. And yeah, I mean, yes, the STD giant microbes are a ton of fun. I'm trying to think. Oh, penicillin is purple and floofy. But yeah, yeah. I actually don't have any, but that's because I've got other stuff. Well, I mean, Differ's kids walk into my office, and I've got my buddy over here, Death of Rats, waving at anybody that walks into my office. So I need to make him a little cloak, a little black cloak. And then he can, and his arms are somewhat articulated, not terribly so, but yeah, yeah. Anyhow, right, and oh, and not anatomically correct, which is why my children bought me this. And the other one that they bought me is a spider-shaped skeleton, and I'm like, that's not how spiders work. There's no bones in there. I was thinking a cowl. I'm not sure I could fit a fedora on there because of the. I suppose I could cut the ear bones off because those are ridiculous. I mean, um, Yes. A cloak and nail clippers. Is that what doth a rat carries? A little tiny scythe, I was thinking, but yes, stuffed germs would be fun. Earth spiders do not have bones. So awesome, Don. That is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I I never understood that. I mean, I wound up having four kids. I mean, it starts with just one, and then suddenly, I mean, I didn't have them in litters like some moms have. Not long before I was left New Hampshire, we had a young couple start coming to the library, and they had triplets that were about 3 months old. And but yes, um, kids do accumulate. Yes. Well, my thing was always like, why am I going to go and spend $20 on a onesie at Carter's when for $20 I can probably get a bag full of clothes at the thrift store, and then when they spit up on them 6 times during the day and they stain because carrots stain, um, then yeah, no, I never got that. I was always fine with thrift store clothes for my kids and hand me downs and um ooh well, fingers crossed that the little monster flips because C-section not fun. Um so yeah, I don't have much in the way of real bones here. I may have to I had a squirrel skull back in Ohio, but um I don't think the squirrel skull made it. I don't know. I still have a couple of boxes to unpack from the office because I'm a hot mess here. I'm still trying to organize what I'm doing. So it would be nice to know where all my books were, but that's going to wait until probably after FenCon, probably in October for my birthday. I'm building myself bookshelves for my birthday. I think that sounds reasonable. Yeah, sit up, suck, and Dad, you are the crazy cat lady. Sit up, suck. I need to do more of them. Yeah. I also need to do more on the treadmill, but one thing at a time. I'm slowly doing little bits on the treadmill, which at least is getting me up and moving. Because on Fridays, when my child drags me out shopping to all the stores, I do all the movements. And I'm tired. Yes, it's okay to be beat by cats. 7 is a lot, Dad. Uh, eh, I mean, catheter, they do numbing agents for that kind of thing. But even without a numbing agent, it's not painful, just uncomfortable. Um, why are you going to Massachusetts, Ray? Why would you do that to yourself? You are a nice man. Be nice to yourself. Hopefully the truck is not too badly broken. Um, and Don, hopefully your friend, your coworker, um, I missed that, is hopefully the baby spins right round and things go smoothly, and if not, hopefully the C-section goes smoothly. I've been told that they're not too bad at these things. I got real close to having one with Johan, but didn't have to have one. Which reminds me, I got consulted as a subject matter expert on Jim Curtis's latest book. So you should all run out and buy Ranching in Colorado, which is Jim's latest Western. Not only is he a really good writer and it's a really good story, but I got to consult in on the childbirth scene. So it is as authentic as my minor advice could make it. Oof. Oh, I'm sorry about the family drama. Hopefully, that, yeah, that's just never good. Hopefully it's not too bad, man. But Dad, you accumulate cats. You are a cat magnet. Um, which I suppose is better than being a chick magnet and having birds in your eaves, but might be, hopefully will not require bloodshed, Ray. Yikes. Um, anyhow, so yeah, that's my pitch to Jim Curtis's latest book, The Hunting Anthology. By the time I see you guys again, I'm looking at dates, I'm looking at my calendar. By the time I see you guys again, The Hunting Anthology should be live. So keep an eye out for that. And then, yeah, I'll be working on the next art book. And I'm hoping to get some time, seriously time into writing in the next couple of days, because I've got a couple of short stories I need to get done. I'm sorry, Becky. What is it with all my friends going to like the worst possible places? Massachusetts, California. Be safe, all y'all. Um, yes, you do have to pimp it out now, farm girl. Um, I know family, but still, I mean, I have family in Oregon. I know whereof I speak. Speaking of which, I'm going to have to get Grandma on a call and walk her through how to set up PubShare again, because we did this once before. Um, and in the meantime, I have kept you all for an hour, and I think I'm going to sign off here and go feed my child ice cream, because there's a Sonic and I know where to go to get ice cream. So I will talk to you guys next week. Thanks for coming and talking to me. I really appreciate your company. Have a good one. Bye.